This is a direct quote by Isaac Newton. Nature is pleased with the simplicity, and nature is no dummy. I'm using this up front because this is extremely relevant for what I'm going to say. And welcome to Unified Superlearning. And this is a case study to demonstrate the difference between the Unified Superlearning and the Khan's Academy. Recently, there have been dozens of people who have asked me about the difference between Unified Superlearning and the other program, especially Khan's Academy. So let's compare. So the biggest fish, Khan's Academy, has a Facebook, almost 1 million followers, and we have just over 1,000. And for the YouTube channel, it has this many, 600,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. I have only 230. So then why am I going to compare this to such a huge fish and a tiny shrimp? Well, but the main point is the original starting this Unified Superlearning program is to change the world, and in the different promo video I gave the reason why, but bottom line is, at least for the first two series coming up in March, supposedly, the lectures of 6 years of between 5th to 10th grade is condensed into only less than 20 hours. So then you may ask me, why did I choose the Pythagorean Theorem Proofs to compare the difference between Khan's Academy and Unified Superlearning program? The main reasons are, normally Khan proves when he has to prove only once in his program, but except maybe rare cases, maybe twice, but Pythagoras' theorem for this one he proved 4 times. Normally I prove whatever I do in 2-3 different ways very often, but Pythagoras' theorem he proved 4 times. So when I looked through, I figured it was a quite good way to compare it, because I know all the shortcut. So, and then both quantitative and qualitative of his approaches and my approaches can be differentiated very easily. And I don't want to go through all this unnecessary maze of the logic and the knowledge. I just go straight to the main point and move on. That's basically my style. So let me see the example. In this, as you can see, there are 4 proofs of Pythagorean theorem. The first one in this case is about 9 minutes. Second one, Bhaskara's proof, another 9 minutes, and the other one is 10 minutes plus whatever. Basically, always about 10 minutes. And the Bhaskara proof is the only one he did and I did. The rest of them I used all the different proofs. I focus on the intuitive one, impactful one, yeah, completely different strokes. So as you can see, 6, 8, 7 of the proofs. Typically, if you cut off the add part at the end, is basically about 1 minute for each. So I have to quote Einstein now, not just Newton. Einstein said, if you cannot explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it to yourself. I pretty much agree with what he said. And I try to minimize complexity of logic or presentation. And usually if that happens, it's usually bad sign, in my opinion too. And I always strive for something the easiest way, the shortest cut, fastest way, and the most insightful and impactful one with as much elegance as possible. So the concept proofs links are provided. My proof links are provided. In general, the Unified Superlearning program, as I said before, for the first 2 series coming up is compressing the 50 times than usual, and but that doesn't include the exercise. Later on, exercise is implemented overall at least 10 to 20 times faster than the usual learning process. So if you have to learn the overall down the road, if other programs coming along later on, then the 10 years of math can be mastered in at most half year, 1 year for the average mathematical brains, the average people with the average mathematical aptitude, let's say. That's basically what's going to happen. And as I said before, Bhaskara proof is the only one between he did and I did. He used, in that case, 8, 9, in general that, but mine, except the one proof of the algebraic proof, I used everything. Just minimum requirement is prerequisite is only 4th, 5th grade math. Yeah. And again, so this is your links, and my link is there. You can check it out later. So in this series, we show I use this comparison, super part, unified part, not really, because each proof is 1 minute long, so don't have time for the unified part. The unified will really show them later on, because I designed it to be a package. You have to go through the entire series. There are 2 series, each one like 8, 9, 10 hours long. You have to go through step by step, otherwise you're missing the whole point and you are not going to get nearly the kind of benefit I can provide you there. So unified part, you can see that from there, but for now, as I said before, focus on the super part, yes? And it's like 2-3 minutes of pop song. Anybody with a decent musical ears and whatever have some nice melody, decent song, but if you want to make Mahler's 1 hour symphony, then they need a lot of integration power and unification. So having said so, without further ado, let's see the fundamental categories of comparison, what I use always. How difficult is it? Length. How intuitive it is. How integrated, unified. How fast it is. How insightful and aha moments it includes. And how efficient it is. Yeah. So these are the categories. For the Khan's academic part, in my opinion, every single one of these 4 proofs are not so easy. Easy enough, but if you are learning for the first time, for a lot of you, not particularly short at all, because each one 10 minutes, not intuitively, and it's pretty much average, and integration is the average, and the length is the average, and it definitely lacks insights other than the original version. So pretty much a copy-paste approach, and too much fat. So that's far away from the kind of thing I'm striving for. So what do I get? You will see the each one of the 1 minute proof is they are quite easy, short, quite intuitive, and unified, very fast, and insightful with a lot of aha moments, and no fat at all. So let's get to the basic summary before you actually see that part. So Khan versus unified superlearning from difficulty level is quite convoluted, but this one is quite straightforward and elegant. 10 minutes versus 1 minute time-wise. It's not intuitive. A lot of algebraic issue. My approach is, except one is all visual. It's very intuitive. So average level of presentation and not organization. And this one, I basically use a symmetry and invariance, which doesn't use by virtually almost no text by no. And using that, everything is quite simple. And the typical speed, 10 minutes for each proof, but this one is 1 minute. It's very efficient. And the aha moments is again original version is basically just copy pasted type of a proof, but this one is intuitive and insightful and use a lot of creative proofs. That's what I focus on. Fat, a lot of fat, no fat at all. And then other than that, general approaches in Khan's Academy is standard curriculum, standard procedure, and I use it from all of the places. Non-linear, so I'm going from the lower to the upper grade, non-stop up and down. It doesn't matter as long as it's going to work. That's my style. And the prerequisite 8th, 10th grade versus 4th, 5th grade is as except one proof which is algebraically 4, which is I guess 7th, 8th grade usually. And the number of proofs, so 4 proofs in 10 minutes for each, so 40 proofs total, and this is 7 proofs, 1 minute for each, total length about 7 minutes. Yeah. So 7 minutes from that, and relying on the upper class prerequisites, as I said before, using congruency algebraic manipulation on FOIL. On the other hand, I use a symmetry argument and invariances, and use more creative approaches, because if for the right triangle, you don't really need the congruency analysis or anything like that, which every other books does. So that's why for me it was possible to bring down to the 4th, 5th, 6th grade level can understand. So you see the differences, comparison chart, and I'm waiting for your verdicts. So my recommendation before this start is for you to go through if it's possible to torture you for 40 minutes going through the 4 proofs. If you have time, it can be fun. Just go ahead. At least try to do 1 or 2 proofs of Khan. Try to see it first, yeah, to see the real difference. But if you cannot watch the 40 minutes of, for some people it can be torture, 40 minutes, then at least try to watch 1 or 2 of them, 10, 20 minutes, yes. And then if you watch my 7 proofs, so totaling basically about 7 minutes, and then you can see the speed and impact impacts and the intuitiveness, etc., see the real difference. Before then, you cannot really appreciate it. Yeah. So if I say, this is my problem, whatever you say, so what? Yeah. But if you see that much lengthy one, long and winding road, then you can see the straight highway, super highway. You'll appreciate it much better. Yeah. And then please share the website and this is to your social network as much as possible. And this is my initiation of the global education revolution, so starting with the math and physical science. So please share. And let's end this video with quoting again what Einstein said: if you cannot explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Yes. So please share. Thank you.